Cupcake, and today I'm going to be showing you how to pipe with a piping bag and buttercream onto cupcakes. I'm going to show you two different techniques with your buttercream today, and these are the piping tips I'm going to use. The two tips that I'm going to use are both star tips. The first tip is a Wilton 1M tip. Now this I'm going to use to pipe a buttercream rose. The second tip is a plastic tip. It's slightly bigger, and that's what I'm going to use to pipe a swirl on a cupcake. I'm also going to be using some piping bags. There's many different piping bags that you can use. Today I've chosen to use some material piping bags. You'll see that there's two different sizes. That's just because of what I have on hand. You can use a smaller piping bag. You just have to fill it a little bit more often. You can also use the disposable piping bags. That's just as good. You'll find your personal preference, and my personal preference is the material. They last longer and they're quite sturdy. So the other thing that I'm going to be using today, I've got a spatula which will help me spoon the icing into the piping bag, and I've also got my buttercream. Now you want to make sure that your buttercream is quite a thick consistency, and that'll make sure that you'll keep the shape of the beautiful star tips that we're using. So probably the consistency of like this thick, and just so it doesn't slide off the spoon really fast when you're holding it up. It is a bit hot here today, so the buttercream is a little bit softer than I would have liked, but we can work with it. The other things I'm using, we've got some roses and some flowers to decorate the cupcakes, as well as some sprinkles. Most importantly, we've got our cupcakes that we need to pipe with. So I'm going to show you how to fill a piping bag the most simplest way. So you get a large glass and you get your piping bag. So first of all, you need to make sure that your tip is in the piping bag, otherwise the buttercream is going to come out the bottom. I'm going to show you the larger star tip that I showed you before. I'm going to put it in the piping bag and move it all the way to the end. Now this is all the way to the end. It's cut specifically for this tip, so no buttercream is going to come out the bottom of this piping bag. So open up the bag so it's easy to put your buttercream into. Put it over the glass. Make sure there is a nice hole in there for you to use. So I'm going to use a spoon to show you how to put it into the bag. So get that. Now you don't want to fill your bag too much, because it will actually start to hurt your wrist if the bag is filled all the way to the top. Ideally, you'd like the bag filled about halfway. So I'm only doing 2 cupcakes today to show you, so mine's going to be a little bit less. I might actually put a little bit more in there for you. So there we go. So I'm going to push it all the way down to the bottom. You really need the buttercream to be down the bottom, so it's nice and easy for you to pipe. So push it down, hold the top, push it down, and twist the bag. And there you go, there's some coming out. Just be careful of that. So twisting the bag actually makes sure that when you've got a nice firm grip on the piping bag, as well as the icing actually not coming out the top. So that's the easiest way to fill the bag. Again, if you fill the bag too much, your wrist will get sore. And if you're piping 50 cupcakes, you don't want your wrist to get sore after the first 10. So this is the easiest way. Even if you have to refill it a couple of times, it's best so your wrist doesn't get sore. So I'm going to take the cupcake and my piping nozzle with the large star tip. And this is for a large swirl. And I'm going to show you how to actually pipe that. To pipe the swirl on your cupcake, hold the cupcake in your hand and actually start piping in a circular motion until you get your desired effect. Now that has 3 layers on that, and that's exactly what I wanted. So that kind of looks like an ice cream soft serve, and that's kind of the effect of the large star tip. So I'll show you again. The other way that you can pipe your cupcake, and can be easier for beginners, is to actually put the cupcake on the bench, hold it with that hand and pipe, starting going in a circular motion around 3 times with little at the top. There you go. So that's the other way that you can do it. You'll need to find out which way of piping a cupcake is best for you. As I say, I like to hold it because I feel like I've got a little bit more control when I'm turning it, but it's entirely up to you. So with these 2 cupcakes, they're fine, absolutely fine the way that they are, but it's nice to put a little bit of a sprinkles or a flower on the cupcakes. So what I've got today is I've got some Wilton sprinkles. So I'll put some in my hand. I'm going to do it over the plate so I don't make too much mess, and just sprinkle them on. And then you've got, it's kind of, it looks like soft serve, so it kind of looks like an ice cream with sprinkles on it. So then with the other cupcake, I'll show you something different. I've got 2 roses here. I don't think I need 2 because it's quite a small cupcake. So what I'll do is I'll use this 1 rose, and you just put it in the top. And there you go, you've got a beautiful flower cupcake with the swirl icing. I'm now going to show you how to pipe a buttercream rose on a cupcake. This always looks really nice, and it's quite a simple technique, and looks like it's a lot harder than it actually is. So I'm going to take my second piping bag and my 1M Wilton star tip. Drop it in there and actually push it, just like we did with the last one. Push it down to the bottom until it comes out the end. No buttercream is going to come out because this is the perfect size for this piping tip. Put it over your glass, just like we did with the other one. And this time I'll use a spatula just to show you the difference. There's not a huge difference, it's just you can actually just get more buttercream into the bag at one time. Again, I'm only doing 2 cupcakes, so I don't need too much. So there's no chance of overfilling this bag. Push it all the way down to the end until you see it come to the top, and twist it. Take your cupcake and we'll pipe a rose. To pipe a rose, you'll use the 1M tip and start in the center of the cupcake. Start in the center and go in a circular motion. You need to do this in one go. Do a second row around, and you can stop. And there you go, you'll see a rose, pipe rose on there. What you can do is actually, because you've ended here and there's not a nice finish, what you can do is actually grab a little fondant flower and put that in the side, and there's your rose. I'll do that again just so you can see what it's how you actually pipe the rose again, in case you missed it the first time. I'll show you this time with the second method, and that's holding your cupcake on the bench and then piping with one hand, with the other hand. So starting in the middle, piping the inside of your rose and the second layer on the outside there. And again, you've got your cupcake rose. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial. Keep an eye out for more videos coming up. We'll be launching one a month. Thanks for watching.